Hi, Mrs. Spawn back here. This is going to be our second video in our little video series we have going on here regarding the Spanish-speaking countries. And I'm going to show you what a Glog looks like, and I'm going to ask you about what are some of the features that you notice within the Glog, and then I'm going to go through how to incorporate all of those features into your own Glog for your Spanish-speaking countries project. So I'm back here on Destiny, and in case you forgot how to get here, I did go to the main site of flboe.com. I clicked on students, and then I came down and I clicked on the Destiny tab and went to middle school, and now I'm coming down here to Spanish-speaking countries resources, and I'm going to the Glogster login link. So let's click on that. I'm already logged in here, so let me go back just so I'm in my admin account. In a moment, I'll show you how to log in as a student. I want to show you a sample Glog first. So let's click on this sample Glog that I made and see if it loads quickly, hopefully. Oh, good. So as a Glog is loading, if it ever asks you to allow or deny, just click allow. All right, so take a look at this Glog. What do you notice can be included within the Glog? Take a look. And maybe Miss Del Sarah can kind of get some hands up, and you guys can answer what you can see. What can you do with a Glog? So I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to come down here and click there. That's me. Not very good quality in that one. That was a camera I had at home a couple of years ago. Yeah, so, okay, go back here. All right, so just taking a look at the Glog, if you haven't noticed, you can include banners and backgrounds and different colored text and text boxes. And right here I have a list, text, images, graphics. I have that video down there. There's audio and music, which you can notice that audio right here was a little music, and it played automatically when I loaded the Glog. There were files and documents which can be included here under the paperclip. And then there's also links to websites. You'll see here, if I hover over, close that, if I hover over anything that's underlined, it says www. And then if I click on it, it will take me to that website, whatever one that it was connected to. So that's pretty much all the different things that you can include in a Glog. And what I love about Glogs is that you do not have to be artistic to create a Glog. You can just be creative. I cannot draw or do any of those things, but I can make a really awesome Glog that people will be excited to read and interact with, because I have all of these great features that are at my disposal within Glogster. So now I'm going to show you how you can log into Glogster and create your own Glog. So let me go up here and log out of my account, which is up here, and I'm going to log in as a student. So you would come to the login page and click on login, and it's going to be your student ID, and I have a sample, one of you guys, I'm using your account, with your initials. Doesn't matter if it's capital or not. It's not case sensitive. And then your password is your student ID as well. And then you would click login. Okay, so this is what a student account looks like. And you're going to be tempted right away to click on this big green button. Do not click on the green button. If you do that, then Mrs. Del Sarah will not have access to your Glog. You'll create a great Glog, but she won't be able to see it, and you'll have to share a link, and it becomes very complex. What you want to do is you want to come over here to Projects, the Projects tab, and click, and you'll notice that this particular person has one assigned probably by Miss Reichert's, the World History, and then here's the Spanish-speaking country Glog. So I'm going to click on that, and you only have to do this once, then your Glog will be in your dashboard. And then I'm going to go here and say Create Glog for this project, the red button. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to load a blank template and this banner up here where you can do all the great features in the Glog. So I'm going to ask you, if you were renovating your room, okay, and you removed all of your furniture and you cleaned up everything in your room and vacuumed and dusted the floors, what would be the first thing that you would do? Well, if I were doing my room, I would paint my walls first before I put my furniture and all those great things back in my room. So that's exactly what we want to do with our Glog. We want to go over here to the Wall tab on our toolbar and click, and we want to pick a background for our Glog wall. We have several options. There's a gallery where you can go into any one of these folders and you can select a background and click use it. And you'll see I can switch very quickly and these backgrounds will become evident very quickly right there. I like that, pretty colors there. If I go back to all folders, I can go to a different topic and select a different background. So that's one option. Your second option is a solid color. So select a solid color and it becomes your background. Very simple. And then your third option is to search for images. So when we're working in Glogster, we do not want to be searching for images outside in Google or YouTube. We want to do all the searching within Glogster. So come in here and search for, let's say we wanted to use the Spanish flag as our background. You would click and we're going to get pictures of the Spanish flag. So I'm going to click on one and we have several options. We can stretch and fill it and it will cover the background and fill the screen. We can just stretch it and it'll leave some of the background color that we chose. We can tile it and it'll put usually it puts a ton of Spanish flags there. This one, not so much. Or we could leave it normal and it would just be a little picture of the flag. Let me get rid of this. Maybe that will help. No, it's not really changing it. That's interesting. That happens. Let me select a different flag and see if that works. All right, let's click use it. For this particular image, it's not really doing it. That's interesting. It was glitching a little bit before, but you should be able to have these options. Most of the time, you're going to use it as stretch and fill. You just want to be careful that you're not putting a background that is too busy, and I'll give you an example of a really busy background. So if you go into the art section here, and you go to some of these backgrounds, they are very busy, and almost like they'll give Miss Del Cerro a headache if she looks at them for too long. Imagine putting all of your text on top of that. So you want to try and avoid those types of backgrounds, okay? So I'm going to go back over to the solid color and select it and show you how to use some of the other great features. So the first feature is text. You have heading, click use it, and then if you scroll down, there's your first text box. And there's no real box, it's just plain text. If I double click, I can resize the box, but you'll notice the text stays the same side. To have the text kind of fluctuate with the box size, I would come over here to size and I would like you to select auto size. That's always the best thing to do so that as I change the size of the box, the size of the text changes. If you have your text highlighted, you can then change the color of your text and you can also change the font size and where the text appears in your text box. I can center it, bold it, and change the font type. And you'll notice that as I do the box bigger and bigger, my text gets bigger and bigger. And as I add more text, you will notice that it resizes according to the box size. So this is a really neat feature when you have that auto right here under size, auto size on. If you don't, your text size is going to stay the same. Okay, so if you click out of the box, you then have these arrows where you can zoom in and out and you can move the text box that way. And then you can kind of flip the box around. So that's one option there as well. Let's see, you could duplicate your text box or any object by clicking on this icon here. You can undo the last thing you did to the box. You can trash it by hitting on the trash can. And then you can click here and it will help you edit your text. You would highlight your text and select different colors. You could also make your text link to an outside website, like I could link it to Destiny. I'll hit Control-C and Control-V and hit Apply, and you'll see your text. Let me delete that box. Hit Preview, your text. It says links not available, but it is a link. So when your Glog goes live, it would be available. All right, let's go back to edit. So that's text boxes. You also have these text box callouts, which are like banners and different things like that that you might want to use. So if you want to put a banner with the title of your country across the top, you would use, these are great ones. This one's a good one. And then some of your text boxes here, you would use some of these where you would type your text on your country. You saw that in my sample blog. So you can do these and you just double click in here. Once again, use auto size, change your font, do all of the above, whatever you want, make it bold, center it, and then start typing your information. Maybe you're going to talk about the climate in this one. and you're going to say it is hot most of the year, etc. All right, and that would be for this. And then you could resize your box, make it smaller, and then you have the option of taking your box and putting it behind or in front of text. So if you wanted to, you could get rid of all this text, and you could just take your text that you made here, hold shift down, and it'll resize it in multiple ways, and then put this on top of that text box. That's another option. And then I have these banners as well. So that's text and text boxes. Let me go to the next feature. The next feature would be graphics. These are preset. These are just like a bunch of images that are in here. If you like an image, click use it. Some of them you'll be able to change colors or do some fancy things with, but for the most part, you're just going to be able to add a shadow to any image. So I'll add like a purple shadow to this, and you'll be able to see it like this. There's the distance, and that kind of makes you artistic. You can also do that to these boxes as well by clicking on the firecracker icon, and you can add a shadow to any of those boxes as well. So if you see this, you'll see the shadow starts coming up. That's kind of cool. What else do I have here? So that's all under images. Unfortunately, there's no search. You do also have arrows, which you might want to use if you're pointing to something like on a map, and you can resize by holding down the shift, and you can make it larger or smaller, length or width wise. So that's very helpful. The other kind of graphics is when you click on image and you go search images. So here you can search for any image, like Spanish flag. Hit enter, and there's the flag. Then you can add a frame around that image, which makes the image a little bit fancier. So if I go under journal, I can click there, and that frame would come around that image. We're having a little lag on the internet, so let me go back to search, click on the flag. Let me click on this guy, add frame, and let's see if we can get a frame. There we go. And then I can click use it, and you'll see that that particular image comes up inside the frame. All right, so I'm going to delete that. That's frames. Here's the next one, under image. If you want an animated image, I'm going to hit remove frame, search images, do animated GIF, and then I'm going to do arrow, and you'll get an arrow. Okay, let's pick this blue one and click use it. Now, you're not going to see the animation until you save your Glog, which you're going to save with your name of your country, your name, your period. Click save, go to your dashboard, and then view your Glog, and you will see the animation, not edit. You're just going to click on your Glog, and you will see the animation. You used to be able to see it in preview mode, but it's not loading anymore in the preview mode. It's a little bit of a pain. So if you want to use an animated GIF, that's what you would have to do. And there you go. You can see the animation. The arrow just kind of moves. So you could resize it, go back in and resize it, but at least you know what it's going to do. You could click on edit this Glog, and you would be back in here in your Glog, and you could click on this and just resize it so it's not so large and it's pointing at something. Okay? Oh, and now once you do it, then it loads it and it starts the animation. So that's kind of cool. All right. That's under images. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to get a video in. So you're going to click on video, go to YouTube, and search. Now search for something like flamenco dance, and then the word clip. That'll keep the dance or the clip or whatever you're doing to a short amount. You don't want something that's like an hour long. So if I type in whatever video I'm looking for and then the word clip, I'll get shorter things. So if I click on this one, I can preview it. It'll load the video, and you'll see it's only 1 minute 52 seconds. And then I can add a frame around my video, as I was showing you before. If I go to leisure, I can add like a little heart, and then I can click use it, and it will load in my Glog. And then I have all those same abilities to do that I did with everything else in the Glog. I can resize it. If I hold shift down, I can kind of stretch it around. If I click here, I can have it autoplay so that when my Glog loads, that video will automatically pop up and play. And I can adjust the volume here. If I click this, I can add a shadow and do all of those great things like I did in some of the other objects that I had on here. So you'll see there's my shadow. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there are ways that you can go in and